And this is the only time I quote directly from a language other than Greek, and this is written in the Hittite language. It's from Hittite documents that concern rituals of purification, purification of society in general, but purification of the king in particular as the embodiment of society. And in the Hittite cultural experience, and we're depending a little bit on what kind of texts have survived and what kind of texts haven't survived. But in the Hittite evidence, the two ways of ritual substitution involve either expelling somebody or some animal from the community beyond the community's borders, or killing them within the borders. And in this particular case, the ritual substitute is not human. The ritual substitutes are animals. In any case, they are killed in place of the king. And thereby the king is purified, and thereby the society, as represented by the king, is purified. So that's what's happening here. And the word tarpalliuš in the plural is the word in these Indo-European Anatolian languages that is borrowed by Greek-speaking people probably as early as the 2nd millennium BCE. That borrowing results in the word that we know as Therapōn and Therapēo and all those other variations. But in the Hittite context, you clearly see that the word still means explicitly ritual substitute in a sacrifice, or ritual substitute in a procedure of elimination. By elimination, I mean driving whatever it is that's impure out of the community, beyond the borders of the community.
And so when we think about the word Therapōn in the Iliad, which you've translated in a few other key texts, so to what extent do you feel like this understanding of it is explicit? Is this something that you think the audience would have understood?
Well, it depends on what the audience is. If you look at the audience diachronically, by which I mean you try to imagine what different cross-sections of audiences might have looked like 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, earlier or later. That's what I mean by diachronically. You could reconstruct phases of Greek poetic language where, yes, Therapōn would mean explicitly a ritual substitute in a sacrifice for somebody is killed in place of a model, whether the model is a hero or the king. Sure, it's diachronically possible, but in the Iliad as we have it, there is no context where it is spelled out that Patroklos, by virtue of being Therapōn of Achilles, is going to be ritually killed in place of Achilles primarily, and in place of the Achaeans secondarily. But you can say the way it's embedded, the way the word is embedded, and all the contexts are played out, it's still that message.
It makes it clear.
It makes it clear, but you could say that it's implicit. I don't like the word implicit or implied, however, because it doesn't give us that room to reconstruct backwards in time. The nice thing about traditions is that sometimes things aren't spelled out, but there'll be certain situations where at least 40%, 50%, 95% of whoever is listening will get it because of all the associations, because all the ingredients are there. So even if things aren't spelled out, you still get it. This is one of the reasons why I don't like the term dead metaphor. I say a metaphor never dies because you never know when it wakes up again. There are situations, even for us, where we use a metaphor and then suddenly click, oh, I'm saying it this way because there is something in the way words X, Y, Z combined with each other, and oh, it suddenly came alive for me. It's not implicit, now it's explicit for me.
Right. And so it's a tradition that allows us to rebuild those.
It's the tradition, and tradition is a wonderful thing. It's not only a way of keeping things alive, it's a way of keeping communication alive. And that's something very special, and I think that's what we have here, is sure, the Hittite tablets make things much more explicit than the Homeric Iliad, but in other ways the Homeric Iliad spells things out, spells certain details of the mentality of ritual substitution. Mm-hmm. It spells it out better than the Hittite text. So the big picture has to be reconstructed, basically.